Well, if we're going to look at this problem and we want to apply the law of sines, remember we're going to have the law of sines says a over sine of a is equal to b over sine of b, which is equal to c over sine of c. But we don't have two values for any one of those, so we can't even create one ratio. If we can create one ratio, then we're good. But here we don't even have one ratio that we can complete, right? So that's why we can't use law of sines, so we have to look into law of cosines. And the best idea to work on this is, well, I'm given b and c, and I'm given angle A. Let's go and evaluate for the sine length A. So by applying law of cosines for A, we'll have a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2 times b times c times the cosine of A. All right, so that's your law of cosines, and we want to find the value of A. So now to do this, I'm just going to plug in what I have. I'm trying to evaluate for a squared. B squared, though, is going to be 15 squared plus c squared, which would be 10 squared, minus 2 times 15 times c times the cosine of 115 degrees. OK, so we have a squared equals 225 plus 100, and then minus 300 times the cosine 115. So therefore, simplifying again, we have a squared equals 325. And then I'm going to do 300 times the cosine of 115 degrees. Sorry, so that's negative 300 times the cosine of 115 degrees is now going to give us a positive 126.78. A squared equals 325 plus 126.78. That's actually going to be rounded to 79. And I get A equals 451.79. Now to find the value of A, we square root. And since we're dealing with side lengths, we know that A is only going to be our positive value. So we have 21.25. Actually 21.26. So now we have A equals 21.26. All right. So now we already found out our we already found our obtuse angle. So we know we don't need to find, when using law of sines, we don't need to worry about any other possible side lengths, right, being obtuse. So we know these two angles are going to be acute. So therefore, yeah, we can just find the law of sines. You can either do B or C. Any preference?
Don't matter.
All right, let's do C. So do 10 over the sine of C equals 21.26 over the sine of 115 degrees. Right? So therefore, we can say the sine of C is equal to 10 sine of 115 divided by 21.26. So do 10 times the sine of 115 divided by 21.26, and then inverse sine of second answer is going to be 25.23. So we could say C is equal to 25.23. Right? You guys, you get your decimal, and then you take the inverse sign to find that value. Then to find B is going to equal those two angles minus 180 minus those two angles. So do 115 degrees minus 25.23. So therefore, I have 180 minus 115 minus 25.23. And I get 39.77. So B is going to equal 39.77. Okay? And there you go.